Welcome to Kitco News. I'm Niels Christensen, and welcome to our continuing coverage of the Mines and Money Online Connect Virtual Mining Conference. We're here today to talk about mining with Ken Berry, CEO of Northern Vertex. Ken, welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show, actually. So it's a pleasure to talk with you.
Neil, thanks for having me on and allowing me the opportunity to talk about Northern Vertex and the Moss Mine down in Arizona.
So I actually got to do, it was actually my first mine tour, and my first gold pour was at your property at the Moss Project. Since then, you've come a long way. Some of your headlines, you're breaking your monthly production records, month after month. Just tell us really quickly, like what's going on at Northern Vertex there?
Sure, Neil. Well, there's been a tremendous transformation since you visited the property back in 2018. Of course, we raised over $100 million US to put the Moss Mine into production. And we started production in 2018 after a construction period, and our commissioning commenced. And not unlike many mining projects out there in the first couple of years, we hit a few speed bumps along the way. We were able to overcome those, and in the last 2 or 3 quarters, we've continued to increase production and really hit our stride. So for a U.S. producing asset located just an hour and a half south of Las Vegas, we've been extremely pleased with our progress. In June, for the quarter ending June 30th, we set records. We had $18.2 million in revenue. We produced over 11,000 ounces gold and silver, about 10,500 ounces of gold. We had single day records that we produced 167 ounces in a single day. We've had days in July where we produced 180 ounces a day. So you can imagine the cash flow that this is throwing off, especially when we see gold break $2,000. It's retrenched a little bit into the 1900s, but our calculations and feasibilities were all projected at the $1,200 range. So this has turned out to be a very profitable mining project. And now we're just beginning our exploration to step out and expand the resources and look for higher grade areas in the mining project.
Well, and actually, in talking with you, I get a sense, what's the sense? We talk about margins and cash flow. What does $2,000 an ounce gold do for you? I mean, do for a project that you initially had costed at $1,200 an ounce? I mean, how big is this for a junior producer like yourself?
Well, you can extrapolate. In the month of July, we produced 4,700 ounces of gold and silver. And our pure gold production in July was about 4,200 ounces. Our cash costs are in around $860 currently. We expect that to drop in the future. All-in sustaining costs were just over $1,000. So the mine is very profitable in this current environment. And that's just looking at our production. Now, when you start to layer on the exploration potential, which we've just began, we started an exploration program in May, and that'll continue right through to November. We recently announced results of that exploration program, and we're hitting widespread mineralization about 1.5 kilometers to the west on strike with our Moss Mine. We're also hitting some high-grade areas right next to our open pit, and we expect that pit to widen out based on some of these results. And as an example, we hit areas of 15 meters at over 9 grams per ton. We even had 1.5 meters at over 2 ounces per ton. So when you get these high grade hits like that potentially falling into the mineable pit, that can raise the economics and increase the economics. We're currently mining an open pit operation where it averages about 0.9 of a gram, and our pit will extend about 1.5 kilometers on surface. But we're testing these areas 1.5 kilometers out to the west and to the south. We're hitting mineralization, so we fully expect to add ounces in our next resource calculation.
Wow, and I guess that was going to be actually my next question is, it's production, you're hitting your stride in a perfect time, in a perfect environment. for gold. What's next? I mean, when we were talking back in 2018, actually at site, even then you were looking sort of beyond your borders. So what do you like? Are you trying to build up like a war chest to maybe expand outside, pick up other projects? What do you do with all of the cash flow that you're seeing?
Well, initially what we do with our cash flow is we deploy that to paying down debt. So in a 12-month period ending in this December, we will have devoted about 12.5 to 13 million in paying down debt. That's that really cleans up our balance sheet, puts us in a strong position to then deploy some funds towards optimizing our production. And what I mean by that is we have a power line that's coming on stream in September, and that power line will replace 8 generators that we currently have that burn up to 10,000 gallons of diesel per day. So this power line will replace those generators. It's a cost savings of as much as 15 million over the life of the mine. We'll also look at increasing the crush size, and what this allows us to do is put another 30% of ore through our crushers and onto the leach pad. So that gives us a scalability as well. And then, of course, the exploration side of it, this is an area that's really untapped. I mean, when you look at the Moss Mine, we've invested over 100 million to get this project to where it is. Our current market cap, and that's US, our current market cap is sitting under 100 million US. And now we start an exploration program that is going to layer on top of that free cash flow. We believe we're very much undervalued. This exploration program has a goal of doubling our resource. We're currently sitting at just under 500,000 ounces global resource. We believe that we can increase this substantially, and that's the drilling program that's underway right now, with results that'll be coming out every 3 weeks to a month from now until right through into November.
So I'm just saying that you're undervalued. What are your thoughts on sort of sentiment in the mining sector? Are people coming back in? I mean, you don't have to necessarily raise capital because you are generating cash as a producer. But what are your thoughts on sentiment? As somebody like Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway comes in and buys Barrick Gold. How have things changed since 2018 when you were doing your first pour?
Well, I think 2018, we had come a long way at that time. We'd gone from a pure exploration company through the feasibility studies into construction, then commissioning. And you were there when we poured our first gold and silver bars. So that was exciting times. And of course, as you hit production, there's usually many different variables that come into play, speed bumps, so to speak, where you're making adjustments to your crushers and your solution management plans on the leach pad. And once you get through some of those challenges in the first couple of years, and this is common practice within the mining sector, this is literally the most difficult part of mining, is taking a project from right through that construction into production. We're now hitting our stride where the production is increasing quarter over quarter, and now we look towards opportunities utilizing Northern Vertex and the Moss Mine as a platform for growth. And that's the reason why our key strategic investors initially invested in us. We have Greenstone Resources, or Greenstone Capital, out of the UK. They represent 18 endowment funds in the US. Large groups such as the Mayo Clinic, Duke University, and others. And then we also have Mavericks Metals. And of course, Mavericks invested in us and took on a stream with the project because they believe that this isn't just an 8 to 10 year mine life. They believe that the Moss Mine will produce for many years to come. And that's what's driving also our employees, our 150 men and women, is they believe that there's an opportunity to settle into the town of Bullhead City, which is just 15 minutes outside of away from our mine site. So there's a number of areas. We also had recently one of our NSR's royalties was bought by Nomad, and that's a very successful royalty company. So I think when you see these strategic investors get involved with the Moss Mine and Northern Vertex, it gives you an indication that we're ideally positioned as a platform for U.S. growth, producing just an hour and a half south of Las Vegas and Northwest Arizona. There's no better mining jurisdiction in the world.
Ken, thank you very much for sharing your thoughts on sentiment in the mining industry and updating us on your project, Northern Vertex at Moss Mine. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Neil, thank you very much for having us on, and just to be able to tell the Northern Vertex story and the Moss Mine, I think it's an undervalued situation, which there's going to be a lot more attention paid to this property and company in the quarters to come.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Neil.
Thank you for watching Kitco News. For the latest in the precious metals markets, go to kitco.com. Stay safe and stay healthy.